Hi. I think I'll start my story from where my presence here is becoming relevant, which means I will not start from the very beginning. At least it will not make me feel as ancient as I am. This was a time where everything felt uncertain in my life. From a well-paying job, a family, little baby boy, healthy and good-looking, thank God. From there, one fine morning, I wake up realizing the sand beneath my feet had drifted off. Everything fell apart. Nothing seemed to be in its place. Health, job, which direction to look at, what was happening, no clue at all. There was absolute chaos. And in this chaos, there were two options that I had, which everybody has in any given situation. I could give in to this chaos, I could give in to this confusion, sit, wail in my house, and fall for this trap called problems. Or I could just get up, dust myself, and start looking for directions. I chose the latter, which we all did as little children. Every time we fell, we would get up, dust ourselves, and start walking again. That's how I learned my dancing, that's how I learned my cycling, and that's how then I realized I'm going to learn my life too. And from there, when you had no clue about what is going to happen, somebody introduced this topic called cybercrime and cyber law to me. That happened to me, my grandfather, who pushed me, or rather insisted that I learn the subject. I had no clue of what this topic was all about. And the journey started in absolute zero direction, zero light, where people did not answer any of the questions that I ever had. It was quiet, silent, and a step every day. It was not easy. If any of you had any kind of a feeling or still think that this journey was very easy, no. Every day, in spite of the fact that I didn't have answers to my own question as to what I was doing, what future held for me, I had to face questions from my family, from my people, from the people around to answer the questions like, what is your job? Which field are you working in? What do you do for a living? Etc., for which I had no clue. Because 25 years back, in India, hardly anyone talked about cybercrime or cybersecurity. So it almost seemed like I was pursuing something which was made by me. A lot of resilience, lot of fight with me itself, because I had to convince me first that I was doing something worthwhile, not anybody else. The first fight that I had to engage in was with me, to tell me that I was going to engage into something which was productive, which could give me primarily the question was about my existence. So it would give me a living, and second, it would serve some purpose as a return to the society. It was very, very difficult. And there it is. Now I stand in front of you as India's first woman cybercrime investigator. Crossroads, it came many a times, even during this journey, because initially when I started off being the cybercrime investigator, the introduction at many dioceses like this was cybercrime expert. Though I was dealing with the other side of the coin, I was mostly introduced as cybercrime experts. So from cybercrime expert to making or getting to be known as a cybercrime investigator, I think it took me roughly around 4 to 6 years. Even to convince my mother that I was doing something legitimate and legal, it took some time. Over the years, there was one newspaper coverage that came in the most popular news daily in Kerala called Malayalam Manorama. Luckily for me, where I was standing with the policemen of the state, where they said, okay, she was part of some kind of training and some kind of investigation related to cyber. And then I walk in home and my mother said, oh, thank God. Finally, I get to know you're doing something legal. I always had a fear that, you might be doing something else, because every day you neither have a schedule, you don't have a place that you're working in, you don't have an office, you do not have even a time or a timetable where you can be seen at home. I go out on a day thinking I will come back home the next day, but invariably I'm back home after 4 to 5 days. Okay, so this is what it happens, and this is where it brought me to. In 2018, I was awarded the First Woman Achievers Award by the Honorable President of India, Sri Ram Nath Kovind. And the award was nominated by the Ministry of Women and Child, headed by Mrs. Menaga Gandhi at that time. And I was there in the Rashtrapati Bhavan with 111 other women achievers. Even that award started off on a very light note, where somebody comes and tells me that, ma'am, there was a call in the office. They said it was from Delhi, from the ministry, saying you're given an award and they wanted your acceptance. I said, scam, because that's what I get to see every day in my life. So I said, scam, and I just walked off. 1 week later, my sister was in the office. She comes home and she says, Chechi, that's how, in my language, an elder sister is addressed. She says, Chechi, there was another mail and a call in the office mail saying that, you're given an award, and they asked for details, so I replied, I said, should not have. Scam. Why did you end up giving all the details? And in due course, but then I got an opportunity to interact with the people in the ministry, and they asked me, we had sent you a couple of mails, and then it took so long for you to reply, can't you? I said, okay, so that's genuine. So this happened in 2017, August. By the time I acknowledged and replied, it was November 2017, 2018, January 20th, I was there at the Rashtrapati Bhavan receiving the award with the other ladies, and these are all the Malayalis from my state who came in there to receive the award with me. It was an amazing experience, not because I was at the Rashtrapati Bhavan myself, but the better experience was listening to the other 111 stories of resilience, perseverance, and purpose. And none of those journeys were easy. None of those journeys were a bed of roses, which definitely told me, Dhanya, you have miles to go. This is just the beginning. And I had already crossed 18 years in my industry. It's quite 25-year-old in this industry now. All right, I would just go through the turning points. 2000 is when I got introduced to this particular area called cybersecurity, cybercrimes, and cyber law. But, there was no difference strategies of cybercrime, cybersecurity, cyber law. We were just taught cyber law at that time. And dealing with cyber law was, again, which brought into all these kinds of experiences of dealing with crimes. The first experience, of course, I keep narrating, where I had to take a class for police people, and all the 250 police personnel sitting in front of me became my clients. So that was a start. It was just an opportunity, which I was scared of, because I had not learned about this particular industry enough to go and take a class, and that too for 250 veteran police officers. It would have been a nightmare. But no, that was an opportunity that came in, knocked at my door very silently. I walked in with the confidence that whatever happens, I will face it. Even if I make a mistake, I know the word sorry. So just went there, took that opportunity, and on that day, I should have returned home after the session, but I stay back 4 full days and full nights to sort the issues that these 250 officers brought on my table. And that opened my doors for my consultations. In 2010, I went about my own entrepreneurship journey, where I opened an organization called Avanzo Cybersecurity Solutions, and we started giving a lot of consultations to organizations pertaining to data security, data protection, etc., all over the world. And this field also gave me the opportunity to travel the world, even places probably I would never have dreamt of going. Awards and recognitions, 2,000 plus schools just in India that we have worked with, in terms of sorting issues, in terms of addressing issues, in terms of knowing, or even wherever we sort an issue, there is a lot of awareness that goes in by which we do. But 36,000 plus issues that I've sorted out, about 3,000 plus scams. And scams are not one single individual related issues, but all put together it is 36,000 plus. 2018 gave me this award from the Honorable President of India. And 2021, I was awarded the Women Leadership Award from GCPIT, which started off as just a platform for myself because I didn't want to go and work and do something which had boundaries again. So that's the only reason I started off Avanzo in 2010. But 2021, when this award came to me, in spite of being COVID, we were sharing the dais virtually with 60 other women in the same industry from world over. And when I won this title, it definitely gave me a reassurance that the entrepreneurial journey, sitting in the southernmost part of a country called India, in a tiny town called Thrissur, probably unheard of if Thrissur-Puram or Guruvayur temple was not there. So sitting in that place, a tiny organization like mine could be recognized. The only thing that would matter for any act to be worthy of would be the purpose it serves. Nothing else. So there I was in 2021. 2024, me and my family with another partner, we have opened offices in GCC as well. Now these are the two roles that I very confidently adorn these days with 48 years crossing by now. I'll be 49 this year, so one is the dancer's role, the other is cybercrime investigation, because I keep telling everybody these are the only two things that I know ever to do. I know nothing else. I know nothing else at all. All I know, I can dance to my heart out, and I can work on cybersecurity, cyber law, cyber crimes for my clients with my heart out. Both the things I do with 100% of me, which again was taught to me by my mother. The only thing she ever insisted, ever, is that whatever you do it 100%. So that I picked it from her, and these are the only things I know to do. I know nothing else. The dancing bug actually was there with me since I remember. All I wanted to be ever, from the time I remember, was also just a dancer. The life took me to this entire roller coaster ride, brought me to being a cybercrime investigator, but thankfully I do continue dancing. I have a handful of students who travel the world performing. I teach, I perform myself too, even today. Yeah, these are the two things. You don't have, life definitely taught me, reassured me with this concept that you don't have to be among or one among the whole lot to be beautiful. You can be absolutely different and be beautiful. Somehow my father told me this when I was this small, saying, you don't have to be like how the others are. You are beautiful as you are. It didn't get into my brain then, but definitely over the years, it sunk into me, and yes, I'm proud of the different person that I am. The challenges that I have faced in this particular career, whenever I have, for the last 25 years, the first challenge definitely has been that we are fighting something which we don't know or which we have never known. Second challenge was that I was trying to fight something which the entire world was addicted to. We were trying to talk to people about something that they were nose down, deep diving in, and I was trying to tell them there is another side to the coin. All of us love the space called internet. For me, I have nothing but the negative sides to talk about. Wake up in the morning, the first message or the first call that I get to attend to for the last 25 years relentlessly is, Madam, I have a problem. Madam, we have a problem. And the NGO that we started in 2010, in the same name, is really fighting in this space right now, and we have been doing this for so long. For a fact, I keep saying, we have already lost a generation. Every child who's put into a kindergarten today is actually, rewired and is actually living on this space called cyber. And that is the normalcy that children have been learning and are adapted to in the 3 years that they have survived, that the only 3 years they have survived. Then you put them onto the kindergarten, they start going to school, and we expect the normalcy that we lived in from them. The problem is us, not theirs. It was us. To fight this, to tell them, to teach the young parents or to teach the stakeholders of the society that this needs to be looked at differently has been a challenge, and yes, it is definitely a big challenge that we face. This is what today's theme is all about, Meridian. Every change begins silently or quietly. I would add, every success starts in a chaotic silence. The single decision that you take to pick the opportunity that comes to you. The single decision that you take to explore the opportunity that comes to you. To be perseverant, to give your all out into this particular decision that you have made. To take that one risk of the fact or the probability that you may fail. That particular decision makes all the difference. Somebody one day told me, look to your right, look for opportunities. Look to your left, look for opportunities. Look forward, look for opportunities. And if ever you have to look behind you, even then look for opportunities. Because when you knock, I've always heard, no, opportunity doesn't knock twice. Opportunities are there everywhere. Opportunities comes to you every day, every minute. It is us. It is up to us how we look into that opportunities. That single moment of decision, that single choice you make, and the wholehearted effort that you give into that decision of yours is what will change. I never dreamt of being the first woman cybercrime investigator. Forget it, I never dreamt of being a cybercrime investigator. My dream was to become a dancer. But here I am, again, right in front of you all, as India's first woman cybercrime investigator. Thank you.